This Enjoy Illinois 300 Betting Picks 2025 edition of the NASCAR Gambling Podcast here on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog. Underdog's got a brand new offer for new customers. Play just $5 and get $50 in bonus funds when you sign up with our promo code RACESGPN.
Driver, start your engine!
Strap in and pull those belts up tight as the Sports Gambling Podcast Network presents the NASCAR Gambling Podcast.
I'm just gonna put my foot on the floor and I'm not lifting till I see God or a checkered flag.
My man.
With all the news and the best bets for your NASCAR weekend.
We want to thank you tonight for these mighty machines that you brought before us. Thank you for the Dodges and the Toyotas. Thank you for the Fords. Lord, I want to thank you for my smoking hot wife tonight, Lisa. In Jesus' name, boogity, boogity, boogity.
Now, here are your hosts, Rod Villagomez and Cody Zeeb.
Welcome in to another episode of the NASCAR Gambling Podcast here on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. He's Cody Zeeb. I'm Rod Villagomez. Chat is already popping. It's funny. Sometimes you start these things and you grow these little shows and you figure out that you want to start a pod. You never realize that you become appointment listening for folks. And the fact that everybody's in the chat already making this thing pop just makes me feel like I've done something right with my life, Cody.
You absolutely love to see it, Rod. I'd like to start the show off. Yes, with a celebration, a toast to fucking last week, because it was absolutely beautiful. We fucking won so much money. Greatest weekend I've personally ever had betting on NASCAR. Great DFS weekend. Everything was absolutely amazing. Hunter here hit a $540 bet off a $1 parlaying Nemechek, Hemrick, Sawalich. How about our boy Sawalich looking good, Rod? All top 5, biggest hit he's ever had. Everything fucking cashed last week. It was beautiful. It was gorgeous. What a great race. Oh, man, it's been not the easiest of seasons. We know that, right? But we are in true playoff form, and it is just, man, last week really rejuvenated the love for betting on NASCAR and once again showed why it's so much fun and why it's so fucking great.
And great races too. Let's not leave the Xfinity Series out. Let's not leave the Truck Series. I mean, listen, Eckes top 5, never in doubt. What was it, 7-1? I think that was Eckes top 5 was earlier in the week that we got that. I mean, look, there was a lot of great stuff. Now, granted, there's a lot of frustration. There was a lot of stuff that made you just want to throw stuff at the television. But by and large, yeah, I mean, definitely Eric Jones. That was the big one of the week. And Cody, I mean, you nailed it because you put it in the card, but I mean, both of us knew that Eric Jones was going to be in the Darlington.
And it
card.
just, man, I mean, he was good all fucking day. Nemechek was good. Like we really just saw this race coming, and it actually, for once, played out the way it was playing out throughout the day. Like Jones got up there early, Nemechek was up there early, Briscoe's leading, Allmendinger's top 10, and I'm thinking, all I kept saying to myself was, it's different after 500 than it is after 400. You said it all fucking week. This is not going to end well, and luckily it held on. Briscoe with the most dominating Southern 500 performance since like Buddy Baker or something, like insane. And boy, hope you listened to the playoff show last week. Hope you got the 20-1 on Briscoe. He's now 8-1, Rod. Man, that 19 team looks good. We're going to talk about him a little more today, but yeah, it was a beautiful, beautiful day. And a lot of the bets cash, man. So a couple other, like the Priest top Ford was looking good for a while. He kind of slipped there late. I know our guy Shandy had Allmendinger top Chevy at 100-1. Like even some of the bets we didn't talk about on the show that were given out in Discord and stuff hit. Just it was a great weekend. So yeah, absolutely. And leading right into football season. Oh, you couldn't ask for any better. Build the bankroll. You got to love it.
What I love though is that pretty much all of our outrights were right there in the mix, right? Reddick, Hamlin, Briscoe, all those guys were right in the mix.
Those were the three best cars. I mean, I don't really think Jones maybe is the other one, which we had outright on him too. He was the car lift. So yeah, I think really we really hit that good and everything worked out well. And yeah, I think first Darlington sweep or back-to-back Southern 500 wins for Briscoe. So love to see it.
You absolutely do love to see it. We will get to all of you guys in just a second, but I want to tell you that the free roll football contest is back. Speaking of football, Cody, it's free to enter, and you are picking every NFL game against the spread. $3,000 to first place, $4,000 if you are a member of the Patreon. So go to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/free roll to enter. And then while you're at the Sports Gambling Podcast site, make sure to go to the merch store, grab yourself some fun Racing Gambling Podcast merch, and you're going to get 25% off of everything in the merch store if you use the promo code football. Go check it out, man. We've got some great look. I drink every morning out of my either Racing Gambling Podcast mug or my Sports Gambling Podcast Network mug. It just no other way to drink coffee than out of either one of those two. So make sure you get over there and get your own merch and take 25% off with that promo code football. And we've got our own NFL Survivor contest, $100 entry fee, and winner takes all. That's Survivor, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/survivor. All right, like I said, the chat was popping. What do we got, Cody?
Let's check in. Nico says, "Hell yeah, Kylie." I don't know if Kylie made a comment. I don't see Kylie's comment. So
I think it was the one earlier in when we were waiting that they hit AJ as a big hit.
Oh yes, perfect. So gotta love those 3-digit hits. NASCAR is the best sport to gamble on for that exact reason. Agreed. Marcus's birthday tomorrow, Rod. Happy birthday to Marcus. Going to be one more year. He's going to end up here on the show here with us. So, well, 1 year and 1 day, of course. Corey says he's here for the Austin Cindric car lift. R.I.P. to that. That was the plan, Rod, but the books had other plans. So there will be a car lift. It's not Austin Cindric. We'll talk about him though. Ash says, "Evening lads, a dominant display by Briscoe. But a huge shout out to the car lift, Eric fucking Jones. That's right. He actually, we found the F from Kyle, and it's been placed on Eric now. So EFJ, what a guy! Eric Jones at Darlington Raceway go hand in hand. Eric Jones in the Southern 500 in particular. Marcus wants to know who everybody's pick to win Gateway is. Jonathan says Elliott. We're gonna share some thoughts on that. Also, second live show appearance. Good to see you in here, Jonathan. JDK calling out Christopher Bell. He thinks it's the Liberty Bell time. Let's see. JDK says, "Afternoon, fellas." Of course. John says, "What about Kyle Busch winning a Gateway?" We might have thoughts on that. Corey calling out Cindric here as well. JDK calling out Corey. Let's see. I don't think I've seen this person before. So shout out to GoFest Luigia. Lugia?
Yeah. Lugia. Go Fast Lugia.
All right.
Go
like
fast.
Logano. Logano. Oh, man. Logano's really fucking good at this track. The best weekend we've ever had, says the Expert Suck Sports Betting Podcast. Marcus predicts Christopher Bell's going to win. He did dominate this race last year, sweeping the stages, leading 80 laps for 7th place finish. Host of Over Gibbs. Rod, what do you think about that? Okay.
So look, you cracked a beer. You cracked a beer open to celebrate. I cracked a beer open because I know 1,000% that I'm going to need it by the end of this show. I do know this.
Also, Stan Dingler, said, "I hit the SVG no Final Four appearance at -700 for 87.5 units. Feeling super great about that one. Maybe it's not such a bad bet. I don't know."
Yeah,
the truth matters. Not gonna doubt my picks anymore. I appreciate that. It was a Briscoe and Jones boy week for sure. Bored again in Indiana says, "I pretty much exclusively tell you guys for my NASCAR bets. We're a big part of the reemergence of the NASCAR fandom. Appreciate the great insight and money picks. Hey, shout out to you. Thanks for joining us live. Great to see you guys all in the chat. We appreciate it. All right, Rod, we got all this money. What are we gonna do with it?
what are we going to do with it? We're going to throw it all back into it and throw it all into Gateway as the playoffs continue for this worldwide technology race over there in the great and wonderful Illinois. Here's the thing about this one, though, right? We've gone to road courses. We've gone to short tracks. We've gone to super speedways. We've gone to all kinds of crazy places. And this is just another one of those in the series of, this is not a 1.5 mile race. This is not a short track. This is not a road course. It's just its own particular track, right? It is a 1.25 track. And, this is one of those instances where you just got to kind of comp it to itself, because there's almost no other comp track to this one. Short flats, we talk about all that other great stuff, but it is the Enjoy Illinois 300, set for 240 laps around this 1.25 mile paved track for 300 easy miles at the World Wide Technology Raceway at Gateway in Madison, Illinois. Cody, this is the second race of the second or the first round of the playoffs. Things are going to get testy. Briscoe's already locked himself in, so everybody else is fighting for that second and third spot to know it.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, Gateway, like you said, it is really kind of its own track. Ryan over at iFantasy Race, his similar track guide is always a great thing to look at. He does call it shorter, flatter track. New Hampshire, Phoenix, Iowa, Richmond, all definitely comps, but I wouldn't take. There's no direct comps, I guess, and I do think I'm going to lean personally heavy into previous performance here, especially on a couple of these bets, as well as what have you done for me lately, as we always like to do. But yeah, it's a big, shorter, flat track as Ryan calls it. So, I think that's a pretty good description. And they are using the same tire combo that they used at Iowa a couple of weeks ago. I wouldn't overly look at Iowa, but I think that you can certainly use that in some aspects. I know we're going to talk about Denny Hamlin today. He didn't have a good race at Iowa. I think that's an outlier, and I think we're both going to throw that completely out the window. But that's out there for note as well.
Yeah, and look, for this track in particular too, there's not a lot of history on it, right? They've only had 3 races in the Cup Series on it, so it's not a matter of we're digging way back. I mean, this is basically just a next gen race.
Yeah. Which actually kind of makes it nice and cleaned up, right? Like you don't have to worry about what did they do before or any of that stuff. So I do like that. And then just to set up the points thing, you mentioned it, right? Chase Briscoe's locked in, so he could start the next 2 races here this week at Gateway, next week at Bristol, and run a lap, go park in the garage, have a beer, 10 beers, whatever, and he is locked into the next round. Obviously, you're going to race for playoff points. They had a great day last week, of course, picking up 7 playoff points, winning both stages and the race. So that's a huge deal for them going into future rounds and helping with that 21 ticket we have on him. So that's great. Denny Hamlin's plus 43, Larson plus 38, Reddick plus 35. Those guys are in range to potentially lock themselves in on points this week if they have good enough weeks and other guys have bad enough weeks. So definitely keep an eye on that. At the cut line, Cindric 12 to the good, Bell 11 to the good, Elliott 9 to the good. SVG, he lost all of his cushion. He's only 3 to the good now. With Gateway and Bristol looming, it's looking pretty good for that guy's bet earlier with the 87.5 units. And then below the cut, Joey Logano -3, Austin Dillon -8, Alex Bowman 19, and Josh Berry 19. They've kind of dug themselves into a hole with those bad races there at the Southern 500. So, we talked about it last week. The playoff guys they tend to have a lot more bad luck once the playoffs start. And we saw it right off the bat with Berry wrecking on the first lap. He about took Reddick out. Oh my goodness. And then Reddick ends up having a great day, almost winning the race, right? But it could have been a lot different if he was taken out on the first lap for sure. So, playoffs bring out a little bit in everybody.
Yeah, I swear to God, I need to buy that big foam brick. I need to, because I almost threw my phone as soon as that first lap wreck happened and Reddick was caught up, and I was like, "That's it.
I was so excited
because
I had the Briscoe over Reddick bet. I didn't give out any head-to-heads on the show last week, but then later on I found the Briscoe over Reddick, which wasn't out when we recorded, and I put that in my best bets article. And then like all week in the Discord, and people are asking, I'm like, "This is the bet. It was plus money Briscoe over Reddick." Like, thank God that's the only guy that beat Reddick on the day, so cash. But he about wrecked lap 1, and I was like, "Oh, this would be such an easy cash." And then, he actually made us sweat it out all the way to the end there. literally to the very end.
Yeah, to the very end. I'll tell you, though, the complexion of that race changed about 4 or 5 times. And you're right, though, because that last 100 miles made a difference for some drivers that were just completely annihilated several times over in that race. So that was obviously, we talked about it during the course of the week, and that extra 100 miles, it just makes a difference. Whatever reason, it just makes a difference in that race.
Does. Yeah, absolutely. And especially for guys, Kyle Larson, that extra 100 miles was horrible for him. The front didn't really change. Briscoe was up there, Reddick and Jones and Nemechek were all kind of up there, but it did make a difference further on back through the field and almost made a difference at the front. I mean, Briscoe obviously would have won after 400 and held on at the end of 500, but if we went to 505, I don't know that he's holding on to that.
Yeah, that was definitely a nail biter toward the end there. But all right, well, then let's talk about this race over at the World Wide Technology Raceway in Gateway. But first, I want to tell you about my friends over at mybookie.ag. We're brought to you by mybookie.ag. MyBookie is your place to bet on every football and everything else that's out there. Prop Builder is second to none. Their motto is bet on anything, anywhere, anytime. I guarantee you right now, folks, if you followed my month-long adventure for the D-Gens Only Play of the Day, you know you could bet on anything. Find Kabaddi. It's such a fun sport to watch and bet on. Not going to give you one of those later today, but you can bet on anything, anytime, anywhere. Easy deposit, lightning fast payout using cryptocurrency. Today, though, I will give you a AFL, right? The Aussie Football League Women's Division. I'll give you a pick from them on Friday the 5th. It's the Melbourne Demons taking on the Richmond Tigers. They've got Melbourne minus 25.5 at minus 125 on my bookie. Go ahead and take that. Melbourne is actually toward the top of the standings, undefeated at 3-0. Richmond starting the season off 0-3. And I'll tell you what, man, these games get a little lopsided. So I can see Melbourne covering this 25.5 point spread. So take the Melbourne Demons minus 25.5 over the Richmond Tigers. Find that on mybookie.ag. Head to mybookie.ag, promo code SGPN for a 100% bet back bonus up to $500 for new customers. That's mybookie.ag, promo code SGPN. Football's back, baby. Woo, this Thursday night, you get to watch some NFL football that means a little something, and it's back on Rhythm. Last season, Rhythm was 76-66 against the spread and 22-19 on over-unders, and they really shined on player props. How about Josh Allen passing props? They were 15-8 on the season, 23% ROI. Again, not good at math. That's really good. Rhythm also has MLB, WNBA, golf, and college football. Rhythm has introduced a leaderboard with weekly cash prizes just for tracking your bets in the app. Track 5 bets of the same type from any model you build, and you can win $1,000. Get your 7-day free trial today by going to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm. I'll have you know, Cody, that the Kabaddi bet that I gave out cashed. The Yodas won the game, and they did it in the way that they needed to.
Yeah, and as Nico points out, Kabaddi is a great cab conversation point. Either that or cricket. So, yeah, there you go. Yeah, don't leave a cricket in a cab. That's very rude to the driver.
Poor Jiminy Cricket. Yeah. No, listen, I loved that deep dive. I'm so glad that our editor in chief, Adam, gave me the opportunity to just sort of pick something every single day and cover it, because it was just, for me, it's like a kid in a candy store. You're like, go ahead, pick anything from the counter and go sugar yourself to death. And that's what I did.
That's it hits your sweet spot. Adam, he's a great dude. I love Adam, Rod. He's a Bills fan, so everybody makes mistakes. But other than that, great guy.
He did hang me out to dry once upon a time and made me a meme. So I can definitely thank him for that. But yeah, absolutely love it. You know what else I love, Cody? Making money off of NASCAR. And I know all of our listeners out there enjoy that as well. So we're going to try to do that for them again this week in Illinois. Yeah, you already laid out all of the pertinent. There's no real other open cars that are going to destroy us. So time to get to the car. Yeah.
Entry list, Rod. Yeah. 36 entries. So your open cars are the 23 of Bubba Wallace, the 45 of Tyler. You know who those are, but no additional cars. No, although I will say, thank God for Derek Kraus, because without that late caution of him just completely fucking imploding, Reddick might have caught Briscoe on that run and would not have cashed the winning bet. So shout out to Mr. Kraus, but no extra drivers this week.
I had
No,
red account, right?
Well, yes, I didn't, Rod, so I don't care. Well,
We already know how I feel about your bets on the episode
Oh,
where you weren't there.
well, yes, yeah, notice that. Thanks. And yeah, by the way, this Taylor Gray long shot top 5. I don't really know what he's thinking. Oh, Taylor Gray finished in 6th, by the way. It doesn't cash the bet. I get it, but I was on the right track. So the experts suck as well is, was mentioned in the Discord. And again, here the devil is whispering Reddick again this week. I will say, the devil's not loud enough for me yet. But he's on watch because after a run like that last week, I could be interested here for sure. So, all right, Rod, let's get into the bets. I'm going to head over to ESPN to kick off the card. Denny Hamlin over Kyle Larson, -135. If you'd have told me at the beginning of the season we'd be betting against Kyle Larson at -135 on a non-super speedway race, I do not know what I would have said to you, Rod. But as we know, Kyle Larson, a.k.a.
I already had him up there.
Oh, there it is. You did. We clicked at the same time. A.k.a. Captain Shook. He's just that. He is Captain Shook. So I'm going to take Denny Hamlin over him. Looking at Gateway, we saw, surprisingly, last week, Hendrick was dog shit, if we're going to be completely honest. They weren't good. Larson, sort of the exception. He was decent. You got on the wall late, and I think he broke a tie rod or something and limped it home to the 17th place finish. But he was okay, but not up to the Larson. And again, that's the thing is like we hold Larson to greatest race car driver in the world right now standards, way up here. So when he's performing here, it looks really bad. And you still get him matched up against guys like Denny Hamlin because, well, they're not going to throw him in a matchup against somebody else, right? So I think you just take advantage of this while you can. But Hendrick, in a general sense, not good last week at Darlington. Also at Gateway, they've really been pretty bad overall. They've not been good. Larson, the best of the bunch, but when you kind of look at everybody, they've just not been that great. And actually, where was it? Here it is. So they are behind Trackhouse, RFK, Joe Gibbs, and Penske in reverse order for average finish here. And Colleague and Legacy are within like 1.2 spots on average finish of Hendrick Motorsports at Gateway here. So they've just not been good overall in a general sense. And you look at these two drivers matched up. You go back to 2022, the first race we had here. Kyle Larson finished 12th, which is fine, right? That's an okay day. But for Kyle Larson against Denny Hamlin, that's not going to get it done most weeks, right? And as we know, those guys are generally guys battling for the lead, battling for the win. Now, he did beat Denny that year as Denny got in a wreck and ended up in 34th. Shit happens, right? Okay, not going to look at that too hard. The other two seasons, Denny Hamlin's finished second place last year and in 2023. Larson did have a fourth in 23, but still not good enough to beat Denny. 10th last year, very pedestrian. He's led 12 laps here in 3 years. That is very bad for Kyle Larson standards. Again, it's all about what are you looking at? If we're looking at Austin Dillon and these are his stats, like, wow, he's great at this track. 10th, 4th, and 10th. Like, holy shit. But this is the Kyle Larson, not Austin Dillon, right? So, Denny's been great here. Kyle's not. And then you just look at it lately. TK with who's more shook, Larson or Hamlin's pit crew? I think Bowman's pit crew is the most shook. But yeah, just lately, Denny's been running much better than Kyle is, particularly on the ovals. If you kind of look back through the last handful of races, Larson's got him a couple of times. We had some road courses in there and stuff. But in an overall big picture sense, Denny's been the one that's had the speed. Denny's looked good. Denny's been great here. You could toss out Iowa a couple of weeks ago. He was really bad at Iowa, and he was just straight up bad. But they've been bad at Iowa previously. I'm not going to blame that on the tire. I think that he's just not good at that track right now. We only have 2 races to look at, but they've both been bad. We'll keep that in mind next year, but I'm going to set that aside, and I think that this is easily Denny Hamlin. And even at -135 against what I still consider the greatest race car driver in the world, he's shook right now, and that's all I'm thinking about. So give me Denny Hamlin over Kyle Larson. You can find that one over on the ESPN. Jonathan loves Elliott this week. Wouldn't be surprised if Logano pulls out the win, but loves Elliott. I do not love Chase Elliott this week, Rod, and I'm a big Chase Elliott fan, as you know. I actually don't like Elliott so much this week that I'm going to take Kyle Busch over Chase Elliott. You can get this at +115 over on Bet365. Betting on Busch can be scary. I understand that, but he's been pretty good here. And You know, you can go back and look anywhere he's been great, but we only have 3 races here. They're all in the next gen era. He was second place here in the 18 car back in 22, but he won here in 2023. Last year, he led 15 laps, got into some trouble, finished in 35th, which can be a common theme for Busch lately, but I'm not going to hold it too much against him. Chase Elliott's not been good here, really, in any way, shape, or form. He finished 21st here in 2022. He didn't race here in 23 when he was hurt. Corey LaJoie filled in. That was the one race LaJoie had in that car, and LaJoie looked like shit too, and I don't want to blame it on LaJoie, even though I know a lot of you don't think he's the best race car driver ever. I might, but that's okay. But he finished exactly where Elliott finished, so you can't really blame him for that. And then 13th last year, again, on the level you're looking at for a Chase Elliott, that's not a good day. And by the way, we gave him all the praise, how good he was doing, how great he was doing. When he gets streaky, he gets streaky. Well, he's streaky right now, but not in a good way. His last 6 races, 13th, 14th, 26th, 38th, 10th, and 17th. He's not been good. Kurt's brother, on the other hand, as JDK likes to call him, he's been pretty solid here lately. 8th place at Darlington, 16th at Richmond isn't a bad finish, 20th at Iowa. So at Richmond, he did better Elliott there, a couple spots behind Elliott at Richmond. But some other tracks recently, Dover, 11th place, 12th place at Nashville, which is a similar size track to this, 8th place at Phoenix, short, flat race that you're looking for. He's kind of been better. So a plus 115 for Kyle Busch, who, if he doesn't step on it, which he can do at times, right? Not as much as the other Kyle, but he will occasionally. If he doesn't, I think that Elliott's just going to not be good this week. So, yeah, give me Kyle Busch. I almost said Kurt. Way to go, JDK. Give me Brexton's dad over Chase Elliott at plus 115.
So, and just a quick note too about your Denny over Kyle. I was also going to put that on there, but you had that. And also it was minus 120 when you had it in the doc. People are already hammering it down to minus 135. So if you believe in that, like we both believe in that, get in now before that thing's minus 150 or even minus 165. When I did put it in the doc, it was minus 120 and it did shoot up to minus 135, but I didn't even blink. Like I still really like that bet. I just think that they're in 2 completely different worlds right now. And Denny is clearly a lot better than Kyle Larson. But, you know, we're still riding off the fact that this is Kyle Larson. The books are still scared he's going to pop off. And he's going to pop off, Rod. I've been saying it for 10 weeks. He's going to pop off. And everybody keeps telling me, oh, this is his week. This is the week. The broadcast. Oh, this is Kyle Larson's week. Junior said it like 8 times. Oh, this is Kyle Larson's week. Luckily, they talked him off of that last week on his manufacturer parlay. But when it comes, it's going to come and fine. But at a track Hendrick's not been good at a track he's not been other than pedestrian at, I think it's easily Denny Hamlin in this case. Yeah, speaking of being on 2 different paths, this matchup that I found after I scrolled past the Denny and Larson, because that was the first one in the doc, and I was like, yep, I agree with that one. So
yeah, I saw that one, and I was like, I'm going to go through. I was last night before really much we're out. I was just browsing a couple matchups, and I'm like, oh, I love this, and wanted to make sure I got it in there before you got to it.
Well, you did a good job because you did it. And so I pivoted. We talked about it before we even jumped on this. We figured out we needed to find a way to get Blaney on there. Blaney's too good at this track and has been too good lately to not be on the card. So I found a head-to-head. Marcus, earmuffs. I just want to warn you now. I'm about to make a case for Ryan Blaney over Christopher Bell. Minus 120 over at ESPN Bet. Again, it's 2 different worlds right now for these drivers, especially over the last 3 races, right? Finishes for Christopher Bell since his second place finish at Watkins Glen. Let's even go back 1 race before that to Iowa, where he finished in 17th. Then he got a second place at Watkins Glen. That's great. I mean, we expect him to be good on a road course. That needed to happen, right? But the last 3 races for Christopher Bell, 21st at Richmond. Now, keep in mind, right? We're talking about tracks that are not a mile and a half, that are not road courses, that are not super speedways, these sort of intermediate tracks, right? Richmond, short track, right? But then Daytona, he ended up in 13th place, and then Darlington, 29th. So three races, 3 really not great finishes. But for Ryan Blaney, ever since that crash at Sonoma, his finishes have been 8th at Dover, 7th at Indy, 4th at Iowa, 6th at Watkins Glen, 3rd at Richmond, first at Daytona, obviously, got the win from the pole, mind you, and then 18th at Darlington. I mean, he's finished better than Christopher Bell pretty much every place but Watkins Glen, right, over the last month and a half or so. So Ryan Blaney, you talk about streaky drivers. He is a streaky driver, and he is just getting started right now and get hot into the playoffs. I mean, last week was a bad week for him, but it wasn't all bad because it was actually good for a little while. And then I think pit strategy kind of took him out. The last 100 miles took him out as well. So, and I think he did get caught up in one of those last minute things that took him out of the running, but he was battling toward the front of that race as well. Something he does on this track, especially over the last couple of seasons. Last year, not so much. He started third, ended up finishing in 24th, but he did lead 20 laps in that race. Before that, 6th place in 2023, 4th place in 2022. He's led laps in every single one of these races. 12 in the first time in 2022, 83 laps in 2023. He's just mad fast around this track. Christopher Bell, on the other hand, 9th, 11th, and 7th. All solid finishes, but obviously Ryan Blaney got him in the first two. Christopher Bell did get him in the last one. Our friends over at iFantasy Race, they always give us these speed rankings charts, right? The Gateway NASCAR Next Gen Speed Ranking Heat Chart. Ryan Blaney's right there. 2022 he was the second fastest. 2023 was the second fastest. 2024 he was the third fastest. So his average speed rank coming into this is 2.33, followed by Kyle Busch at 3.33. By the by, where's Christopher Bell? He's fourth. I mean, this is going to be kind of a close battle. Obviously, it's not going to be where one's going to dust the other, but you know, it's going to be down to the wire. Of course, when they are average finish positions too, for my fantasy race, Christopher Bell average of 9th, Ryan Blaney 11.3. But again, Blaney had that 24th place finish, and then TK saying Blaney got walked into the pits, which put him back in the weeds where he spun and damaged his car. So that was last week. That wasn't, yeah. So yeah, I mean, look, I'm gonna back Blaney over Bell this week, and I think minus 120 is a pretty decent price for it.
Yeah, I like this. I've got a bet on Blaney coming up. It was added to the doc so late that it didn't make the graphic, but like his numbers and I can't go against Blaney this week. So I like this pick, and Bell I wanted to be on. He should have won this race last year. I can't remember if he ran out of fuel. Like him and Blaney were 1-2 near the end of that race. I don't remember both of them ran out of fuel. If one ran out of fuel, something else happened to the other one, but ended up dropping back. But you know, should have won this race, but he's just not been good lately. Like they're struggling. I'm still going to bet on him in New Hampshire in 2 weeks, but I'm going to hold my bets on him until then. So I do agree with you, and I like this bet as well.
Yeah, it's tough because you're right. I mean, Bell should be a much, much better driver than he has been over the last 3 weeks in particular. And, you know, this track may jumpstart him, but a top 10 may not get it done. Top 5 may get it done to beat Ryan Blaney. So definitely love it. All right. We'll come back with more of our favorite bets for this race. But first, let me tell you about friends over at Underdog. Underdog Best Ball Mania is happening all summer long, giving away $15 million in prizes, including $2 million to first place. There's no waiver wire. There's no arguments about trades. Best Ball, quite literally the best way to play fantasy football. Underdog's also a great place to play Pick'em, where you can win up to 500 times your entry. Disc Golf Pro Tour. Yes, sir. Happening right now. Well, at least not happening right now. It's happening on Thursday. That is a couple days from. I know you're going to be watching all of your football, but this happens at 4:50 in the morning. So make sure that you are up. Missy Gannon in the Great Lakes Open FPO. Her finishing position from Underdog is set at 4.5. I'm going to take the worse than in this instance. She has not finished better than 4th in 3 of her last 4 matches. So she did get a 4th place at the Prodigy Presents Waco, but I am not going to buy into that. So 5th, 23rd, 4th, 15th. Let's say that 4th is an outlier. So give me Missy Gannon worse than 4.5 tourney finishing position in the Disc Golf Pro Tour over on Underdog Fantasy. Underdog's got a brand new offer for customers. Pay just $5 and get $50 in bonus bets when you sign up with our promo code RACESGPN. We're also brought to you by Novig. Novig is America's #1 sports prediction market. Since Novig is an exchange, you know you're getting some of the best prices in the market. Novig is available in 35 and up states. Download the Novig app and get $50 when you spend $5 if you use our promo code SGPN. Get in on the action with Novig, promo code SGPN. Great part about Novig is that it is legal in tons of states. that most gambling is not legal, aka California. So get in on that.
That's what makes America great, Rod.
It is. All right. Well then, Cody, let's continue down the card.
Yeah, Caesars is trying to make their reparations to the NASCAR gambling community as they did last week, posting those finishing positions. Again, I'll remind you, like last week, these are only up early in the week. I did not see them reappear last week. They likely won't reappear this week. Bet on this right now, early in the week. They move drastically quickly, and also they disappear and they're gone into the ether, so you won't find them again likely. Finishing positions for drivers. Over means worse than. Under means better than. For reference, we hit 2 of the 3 I gave out last week, and we're going to ride 2 of them this week. First one, Eric Jones, under 17.5, minus 115. We're coming off a hell of a run for, first of all, Eric Jones. Second of all, Legacy Motor Club, just looking beautiful and great last week in a general sense. You get this one at minus 115. Eric Jones, 3 starts here, 26th last year, but 18th in 2023. Let's go back to 2022. If you remember what happened in 2022, Rod, they looked great. Chevrolet, first year in the next-gen era. Legacy was like, okay, oh shit, this next-gen car, like I think he was like 3rd at Auto Club to open the season, goes on to win the Southern 500 in the 43 car, and you're like, wow, look at this, great, right? Then he comes here, he finishes 9th in Stage 2, ends up 7th in the end of the race. We're kind of back to that track for Legacy right now. So I love the fact that when they were good in 2022, finished in 7th. We're kind of getting back to that. Obviously, he's coming off a 3rd place finish at Darlington. He finished 5th at Daytona the week before. A couple of other good runs here lately. Iowa, comp track, if you want to call it that, 16th place. Nashville, similar size track, 7th place. He also had a 5th place at Texas. Legacy's been good, different places. 18th at Phoenix as well, short flat early on in the season before they were really clicking, half a spot over this, but still a pretty solid run. So all in on Eric Jones right now. All in on Legacy Motor Club, because I'm also going to take his teammate, John Nemechek. You can get him under 21.5 at minus 115. So just has to get a top 21. You love to see that. 1 start here for John Hunter in the Cup Series, 27th last year. Obviously, as has been well documented, Legacy in a much better place now. So can he finish 6 spots better than last year? Absolutely he can. He's coming off a 4th place run of his own last week at Darlington, where he had a great race. 15th at Iowa, again, comp track. Also had some other really good runs lately. 12th at Indy, 21st at Dover, 6th at Pocono, 10th at Kansas, 8th at Texas, 21st at Bristol, Phoenix, short flat track early in the season, 14th. John Nemechek, we've talked about a ton this year, particularly on the DFS show, but he's been extremely good and doesn't have to run top 10, doesn't have to run top 5, doesn't have to beat all the other Toyotas, just has to finish in the top 21 out of 36-car field. Sign me up, please. So it's the Legacy boys, Rod. Jones under 17.5 at minus 115. Nemechek under 21.5 minus 115. Those are on Caesars into the finishing positions tab, and they will not be here later in the week. So get them and get them sooner rather than later.
Such disrespect for the Legacy boys, which, by the way, Jimmy Johnson, I'm wearing his championship shirt from, was it 2010? So shout out to the
which of the 7 years was it? Oh, boy.
Let's see if I could count on my toes. That was the better one. I think I enjoyed that one the most for myself because they kept trying to change the rules and he kept beating them. So absolutely
couldn't be beat, Rob.
No, could not be beat. All right. Speaking of can't be beat, how about AJ Allmendinger? 5th place finish last week. Cody was on him.
Buddy.
Did not need to convince me very much.
10 to 1. Oh, I'm just sad we didn't take the top 5. 10 to 1 for a top 10. You didn't have to sweat it. Like 400 of the 500 miles, you were not sweating that bet. It was just beautiful.
Yeah. No, he was driving really well, confident, and just looked like somebody who deserved to have your money put on him. Well, guess what? Let's go right back to him. Talk about the disrespect. How about the disrespect? I know he's the favorite in this group, but he's in Group F over on Caesars, and I'm going to pick him to win this one. Plus 130 over the likes of Zane Smith, Shane Van Gisbergen. I can't even say his name right now. SVG, because I'm reading it off of the screen, and I'm like, SVG, Shane Van, yeah, whatever. And then Noah Gragson. I mean, that is a group that AJ Allmendinger could probably win with his eyes closed. The only one that gives you any sort of pause whatsoever is probably Zane Smith, only because, right? Because he had 11th place at Richmond, 13th at Darlington. His average finish this year, 20.5. But if you go by sheer average finish alone, AJ Allmendinger has the best average finish out of all these guys, 19.5 altogether. His average start, 15.5, but his average finish here, 19.4, 6 top 10s, 2 top 5s on the season. Compare that to an SVG, who we know has the 3 wins, but his average finish on top of that is at 21.5 outside of that. 32nd last week at Darlington, 16th at Daytona, 14th at Richmond, 31st at Iowa. As much as I want to believe in the SVG getting better at ovals, there's just something about it that just continues to make him out. So I think he may be I said this last week. I said, he could be a top 20 car. And he was for a lot of the race. But something happened. This pit crew maybe screwed him up. Something happened. He got out of cycle. He stayed out that one pit stop or that one pit cycle and just stayed long. And that was it. That was it for his day. So hopefully that doesn't happen again. But even still, I still think that AJ Allmendinger could finish better just on sheer talent alone. How about Noah Gragson? I mean, you just got to say who at this point. 25.2 is his average finishing position. He did have a 14th place at Darlington, absolutely to the surprise of everybody out there, because before that, 38th at Daytona, 27th at Richmond, 21st at Watkins Glen, 29th at Iowa, 33rd at Indy, 32nd at Dover, 37th at Sonoma, 30th at Chicago. Stop me when one of these numbers impresses you. 25th at Atlanta, 23rd at Pocono, 30th at Mexico City, 4th at Talladega. There you go. Stop me there, because that's the one that's going to impress you. But, I mean, AJ Allmendinger just every single week is beating Noah Gragson, so that's not even a contest. Zane Smith, like I said, that could be the one to give you pause. SVG, I guess if they're racing for points now and they're really just trying to make up the fact that they really blew it last week, well, that's it, right? But I think AJ Allmendinger has a good shot at beating all these guys straight up at plus 130.
Why is SVG in this group? I mean, outside of the fact that he's in the playoffs, this is, and like as TK puts it perfectly, assuming AJ doesn't have cat issues, he is going to win this group. And I completely agree. Like, you got to watch out for the allergies with the cats. Can be tough. But yeah, if there's no cat issues, then of course he meant car, but cat issues, car issues. If there's not either one, this is definitely AJ's group to win. So yeah, I completely agree with that one, Rob.
Beautiful. I know you got more to say about him later, so we'll let you get there. But
I do.
What's next?
All right, top 10s. We're going to hit this market real quick. Interesting, I think, is the word I'll use for the top 10 market this week. Mm-hmm. Don't love a lot of the stuff out there, but did find a couple of plays that I like. The first one is Austin Cindric, top 10. It's minus 125, but I think that this number is good. You know, Austin Dillon a couple weeks ago, we bet on him because he was just really good at Richmond in particular. That's what this track is for Austin Cindric. He shows up here. He's really good. Sort of lucked into a win last year. I mean, he put himself in position. He was third place car. Bell and Blaney both have issues, and he ends up winning. Great run by him. But he actually has the second best average finish of active drivers to Joey Logano, his teammate, at 8.3. So great average finish for him. Of course, he won last year. He did lead 53 laps in the process of that, so had a great car. 13th, 11th place in the other two races here. He actually led 26 laps in 2022 as well. So had that car up front a little bit. But this is just, there's a couple of drivers that have certain races or certain tracks. Austin Dillon at Richmond, Eric Jones at the Southern 500, things like that. And this is Austin Cindric's race. So minus 125, there's almost nowhere else I would bet this on Austin Cindric. But at this track in particular, he's been good here. Only one top 10 in the 3 races, yes, but he's been really close in the other couple. And I think that the odds reflect this. I think this, and this should be a Penske week very much. He's obviously included in that group, and expect a very good day for him. So going to take that. Eric Jones, we just talked about him, taking him under the 17.5. I'm going to up that a little bit. I think if you like his top 10, and some people don't have Caesars, of course, you can bet the top 10 at 3-1. It's not the greatest number in the world, but it's good enough. I like it. That 7th place here in 2022 really stands out. Obviously, coming off of 5th place at Daytona, 3rd place at Darlington. Things are clicking over there in the Legacy group, not just for him, but his teammate, as we just documented. So just kind of reiterating all those things. I think he's worth it for the top 10. And then our buddy JDK here, Rod, would like us to talk about AJ Allmendinger top 10 at 6-1. congrats to everybody else for catching up to the part of the show that JDK has already listened to. But AJ Allmendinger, 6-1 for a top 10. You just made a great case for him to win that group, and I completely agree with you. And I will bet him in that group as well. But he's got 2 starts here. He started here in 2022, 10th place. Boom, he's already hit one. 2023 was the other one in 14th. You know, Colleague obviously has been better this year than previously in those couple of years. He was not in this race last year as he was running full-time Xfinity and was out, I believe they were in Portland this week last year, so he was doing that. But he's coming off that 5th place run at Darlington, cashed the top 10 bet for us there, which you love. 18th place at Iowa a couple of weeks ago. Not too far outside of that top 10 at a comp track, same tire, all of that. And 9th place at Bristol not too long ago as well. So he's had some good runs here lately. He's looked pretty solid. And I think it's 6-1. It's a good number for AJ.
I absolutely love it, because if you look at the next gen average finishes heat chart from iFantasy Race, he's 6th overall on the list. Obviously, it's only just 2 races, the 2022 and 23 race, but 10th place in 2022, 14th in 2023, averages out to 12th place. So
yeah, and it's 6-1 for a guy who's done it one of the 2 times and was within 4 spots the other time. Oh, and you know, knock on wood, that Colleague equipment's been that much better this year. And he's continuing to prove to be a good driver. It all adds up. You know, it's not the 10-1 number we got last week, but roll some of that money back into it this week, and maybe we can double up on him.
Yes, sir. Corey saying that Busch, Wallace, Dillon look like nice top 10s. Bubba is at +1, or he's at even money for a top 10 finish. And I will say I like that, but I like this one even better, because I found Wallace's finishing position at 16.5, -115. I know it's not the plus money that you like to see. It's not +100, but for -115, you get 6 more positions to play with on the track. So 16.5 is what Caesars is giving you as his finishing position. I'm taking the under, so I'm taking the better than on this one. And really, look, it's not because of his finishes here on this particular track, because he's got 28, 13. Well, this is the speed rankings chart. So let me pull up his finishes here. Bubba Wallace still not that much better, to be perfectly honest with you. 26th, 30th, and 21st. His average finish 25.7. So it's not what he's done on this track. But allow me to introduce you to a Bubba Wallace that is actually so much better lately than I think anybody's ever expected. The dad thing gave him a lift. The fact that he won at Indy gave him a lift. Kissing those bricks was probably the best thing that could have happened to him. He has finished inside of the top 10 in 5 of his last 7 races total, right? The 7th place at Dover, the win in Indy, the 6th place at Iowa, the 8th place at Watkins Glen, 28th at Richmond. He started 7th in that, though he led 123 laps, right? We remember that race, him looking so solid in that race and just getting completely screwed. And then, of course, crashing out of Daytona, it happens. But he bounced back, leading 10 laps at Darlington, finishing in 6th place. And that was not even a question all day. Bubba Wallace was up front the entirety of the day. Started 8th, finished 6th. Pit cycles, whatever was thrown at that 23 car, he rolled with it, and he managed to finish inside of the top 7, let alone the top 16. So I think that momentum alone is enough to continue him, right? I know, like I said, this isn't the best track for him. He hasn't had great finishes, but there's something to be said about the momentum that you carry with you after putting up such a great performance last week, after winning and kissing the bricks. Like, it's just all looking like Bubba Wallace's playground right now. And I think his confidence is high, and you're only asking for a top 6, not even a top 15, a top 16 finish for Bubba Wallace. You got to hammer this one.
Yeah, I really love this as well. I think you laid out the case perfectly. And yeah, I mean, you're getting almost a similar number to what you can get for his top 10. So obviously, if you don't have the option, right, not everybody has Caesars. Not everybody maybe wants to use Caesars anymore. Understandable as well. But if you've got that option, definitely take this bet, because I completely agree with you. And then back to Corey's point too on the top 10s. The Wallace one, to your point there, looks nice. Busch, I will say, was on my short list. I think he's like plus 135 range, but I already gave out the head-to-head, and I got another bet on him. I'm not trying to get 3 Kyle Busch bets on the card. I'm not that confident in Kyle Busch.
I've got that one too, Corey.
Oh shit. Okay. Well, sorry to spoil all that. Okay. Let's move on. I should probably look at Rod's bets before I start talking too much, but that's okay.
Show prep, folks. It's for
yeah. All right. Next up, Rod. I'm going to go back to Caesars. They do offer a lot of props, and you got to give them props for that. Pun intended, of course. But they have got finishing manufacturers in the top 10. This is always kind of a fun bet. So you can take the over-under on how many Fords, Chevys, Toyotas finish in the top 10. And I'm going to go with two of them here, and I think they're sort of correlated. So I'm going to go with the over 3.5 Fords in the top 10 at plus 120. Again, this is a plus money, which is great. And I'm also going to take the under 3.5 Chevy at plus 125. So you're getting plus money on both of these. You know, the way that the books have the odds laid out and the way that everything kind of shows up here, in a general week, Chevy is usually the favorite manufacturer. Toyota is usually the second or right there with them. And then Ford is sometimes even a distant third when it comes to this category, right? But if you look this week, it's Toyota at plus 135, then Ford at plus 170. Chevy is plus 260 to win this race. So the book's right there telling you they don't think that there's that many Chevys in this race who really have a good shot at winning this. And you know, looking at the outrights board, I got to agree with them. Like it's Toyota, Ford, Toyota, Larson, Toyota, Ford, Toyota. Byron is all the way down at 12-1. Ford, Toyota, Ford, and then Elliott at 20-1. Like they don't think there's going to be a lot of Chevys up here either, and I completely agree with them. So I like that. And on the other hand, listen to all the Fords I just listed off there, right? So go back and you look. We got 3 races to look at, and both of these bets are 2 for 3 in these 3 races. So you feel good about that. Last year, 4 Fords in the top 10. 2023, 4 Fords in the top 10. 2022, there were 3 Fords in the top 10, and Cindric finished 11th. So one spot just outside of there. For Chevy, it was 3, 4, and 3. So 2 years ago, they did get to 4. But looking at the Chevy market right now, can Kyle Larson finish top 10? Yes, he absolutely can, and he probably should, right? He's done it 2 of the 3 times here, but one of those was a 10th place finish. So it's not like he was way inside of it. Byron, you'd expect to be good. But you wouldn't have expected that last week, too. I've already made a case against Chase Elliott. I think Kyle Busch will be good here. Chastain, you know, they can't stop from stepping on it. Hocevar, I think, is going to be good. But then Dylan, Bowman, like, does AJ sneak in there? Sure. But you got him at 6-1. So if he's the Chevy that tips the top 10 scale, fine, right? We'll take the top 10 anyways. So, you know, you're kind of hedging, I guess, in a sense there. But I do like this. I think that it's going to be a very Ford day. This is a Ford track. It's laid out that way for a couple of years now. And yeah, I think the fact that you're getting over 3.5 at plus 120 when they've done it the last 2 years in a row and, you know, had 4 in the top 11 3 years ago is great. And then under Chevy, you know, 2 of the 3 years, including last year, it didn't hit. So I like this. And then also when we're speaking of manufacturers, I'm going to take Chase Briscoe, top Toyota at 4-1, because why would you not keep betting on Chase Briscoe at this point in time, Rod? I mean, I really can't think of any reasons not to. 24th the first year, 34th the second year, 17th last year, which again, Stewart Haas, that was closing, decent run, good enough, we'll take it, don't overlook it. Martin Truex Jr., though, 6th and 5th in the first 2 years here, did finish 34th the other year. He got in a wreck last year, but he was strong here. We've seen the trend with Briscoe. He's been good, and obviously lately, right, won Darlington, 13th at Richmond, but very fast at Iowa, was one of the fastest cars, led 81 laps there, finished in second place, second at Dover, won Pocono. Things have just been looking really good for him lately. 4th at Kansas, 3rd at Charlotte, even going back that far. And obviously short flats have kind of been his specialty, also been the specialty of this 19 car. It's a perfect combination just to be the top finishing Toyota. You know, at 4-1, I think you're still getting pretty good odds for a guy that they're starting to cut back, not as much as maybe they should, but starting to cut back on his odds a little bit.
Yeah, and he's definitely earned it. I mean, it just the fact of the matter is he's been so fast in qualifying. He's been so fast during the race. Like, it just something, the light switch just hit, man. And whether it's a crown jewel event or it's not, I mean, Chase Briscoe's been turning a lot of heads. I know that's not turning Cody's head because Cody's head's been turned for a very long time, but most people are starting to catch up to the Chase Briscoe hype. So, all right, Corey, well, you said Wallace and Dylan look like good top 10 bets. So does Kyle Busch as a top 10 bet. I'm not going to try to say take the top 5. I don't know what that number is because I'm not looking at it. I don't want to be tempted by it. I am very happy with the top 10 for Kyle Busch. Plus 125 over on ESPN Bet. look, he's done it 2 out of the last 3 times he's been on this track. A second place in 2022. He won in 2023. He was racing with Kyle Larson up at the front and got crashed out of that race, finishing 35th, which pretty much killed his average finishing position rather, and just kind of wrecked it out for him that day. So you made a lot of case for Kyle Busch earlier in the episode with him over Elliott, and it's true. I mean, Kyle Busch is one of those drivers where he's gonna finish well. I think now that he's in the back half of the season and things, I don't know what it is about Kyle Busch right now, but he's actually been running rather well. You talked about it already to open the show. So I'm just going to tack on to the fact that he's been good at this track as well. And, a top 10 for Kyle Busch, who just finished inside of the top 10 in this last race as well. I like the plus money for it. There are people that are sleeping on KB top 10. JDK saying that it should be minus 200, if not more. It's a trap. Yeah, it's a trap if it doesn't cash, but I think it's going to cash. So plus 125 for Kyle Busch top 10.
Yeah, and I agree with you. And sorry to spoil the bet earlier by talking about it, but I do like this, and I'm going to actually paint a bigger case for Busch here in a few minutes. So I didn't add it because I was afraid to have too many Kyle Busch bets in the card. So I'm actually glad you did, because I think that it is really a good bet, and I think it should be minus money like JDK says, and they know not to price it there because nobody will bet on it, but they're going to get some action this way, and you just have to hope that when he hits the spin cycle, he's got time to recover from it.
Indeed. Okay, so you cracked a beer open to celebrate. I cracked a beer open to get through your next box. So Cody, take it away.
Yes. Cheers to this one. Rod has departed the show. If you're watching over on the YouTube, he's completely left. It's just me now. So I'm going to take a drink. Sam Adams, Jacko Pumpkin Ale, by the way. It's delicious. Yes, so car lift, and I'm not doing this just because of Rod, but I forgot at the top of the show to wish everybody a happy Carson Hocevar week. Of course, if you celebrate Eric Jones week last week, which was beautiful and made us a lot of money, now it is Carson Hocevar's time. So happy Carson Hocevar week. This is, my friends, in honor of Rod, the Carson Hocevar car lift. I love Carson Hocevar this week, Rod. Top 10 plus 160, top 5 5-1, top Chevrolet at 10-1. Win the race, you can get him 35-1 over on the DraftKings. Carson Hocevar at this track in particular, 2 starts. He has been excellent at this track, Rod. In 2023, he finished 36th place. But wait, that was when he was filling in for Corey LaJoie in the 7 car, because LaJoie was filling in for Chase Elliott in the 9, as we referenced earlier. He was lights out. This race in 2023 is the race that got Carson Hocevar, and actually it got Corey LaJoie fired from Spire. It got Carson Hocevar a ride with Spire, and put him on the map, and in this ride with this opportunity. He was so fucking good that day in the 7 car. Brake rotor blew. It happens, right? Not gonna hold that against him. So it's 36 on paper, but was running much, much better. Came back last year, 8th place finish. Nice, strong run for Mr. Hocevar. Also had a 4th place finish here last year, or 2023 rather, in the trucks last time he was out. But you look at what he's done this year. He's had a really strong season. He's coming off a 9th place run at Darlington last week. 15th at Richmond a couple weeks ago. You'd like a little better, but 8th place at Iowa, comp track, same tire. Okay, you got my attention there, right? You like to see that. Had a 2nd place at Nashville, again, similar size track to this, little bit of a different style, but similar in size. So we'll take that as 2nd place run, right? That's cashing most of the legs of this, probably even the top Chevy part of it, because I don't think a Chevy's going to win this race, unless it might be Carson Hocevar. But he's had some really, really great runs so far this season. And he's been good at this track in particular. This track sets up really well for him. Coming off a good run at the Darlington, the Southern 500 last week. Let's stay out of trouble. We don't need to get in pissing contests like you tried to do with the 9 car last week. I get it, right? That's the one thing that holds you back a little bit. But we've seen from this kid, all the talent is there. Even you can't deny that, Rod. Extremely talented. When he puts it together and doesn't mess up, which, that's part of it. He can step on it a little bit as well. But when he puts it together, he's great. Been very, very good at this track in particular in next-gen Cup cars, which you love to see. It is Carson Hocevar week. He's the Eric Jones of this week. Cheers to that.
I hang tight. I'm gonna take a quick drink because I'm only saying one thing. I already said I'm done. If you're in the Discord, please go back to the Discord and you will see my stance on the driver who will not be named. The driver, the number 77. Hold on. Let me take a drink because I got to get this out in one.
We're all waiting with bated breath over here as Rod sips another beer. What beer are you drinking today, by the way?
This is a you know what? It's I forgot. Well, I know who didn't make the beer. But yeah. Listen. He has as many DNFs as he does top 10s. How is that a great finish? 7 DNFs, 7 top 10s. The dude literally has done nothing to earn my respect this season. All he's done is just been a stupid, spoiled kid all season long, trying to bully his way and earn respect that he hasn't even earned in the Cup Series. So this will be the only thing. You got to go back through the Discord and read the rest of it, but literally nothing. That's it. I'm not even going to say anything more about him because he doesn't earn the breath that it takes for me to explain to you why this is a stupid car lift and should get knocked out from underneath the car. I love you, Cody, but this guy, zero respect for me whatsoever. And now I get to drink to calm the nerves because that's how that works. No, I'm just kidding. No, listen, like I said, all of my thoughts on him are in the Discord. They're all there because it's just, I got nothing to say, nothing nice to say. So like the Peanuts say, if you got nothing nice to say, you don't say anything at all. And I'm not.
Well, when he wins this weekend at Gateway, I will order you a Carson Hocevar t-shirt and we'll get you fitted in all the best for Mr. Hocevar.
Actually, it's funny because me and JDK, we have a board bet on this one. And that's exactly what's going to happen. If he does end up winning a race, what did we say, JDK? I think we said if he ends up winning a race within the next year or so, then I'm definitely going to wear that on a show, and we'll go from there. That'll be my punishment for that. But I just don't think it's going to happen, so I'm not worried about it at all. And then JDK, if he doesn't win a race, I don't know. We'll come up with something fun for you.
Yes, and Kylie with the AJ Top Chevy plus 10,000. Boom, winner. That's Kylie hit. Great. Yeah, thanks to us for liking AJ last week. And yeah, it was, man, I wish I'd have thought of the Top Chevy angle, but I'm glad a few of you did. I know you did, and of course our buddy Andrew Shandy did as well, hitting that. So beautiful.
And speaking of the Gibbs over that 77 rat bastard too, that's the last time I bring up either one of their names, right? I actually backed Gibbs for once. Look what happened.
Yeah. And I don't know if you've noticed, I've not backed Gibbs in quite some time, so maybe it was a bad time for you to back him. But
all I'm saying, both of them are dead to me now. Neither one of them. And if I don't even care if they see me in the garage and be like, "Oh, you're the guy." I'm like, "Yeah, I am the guy." Guess what? Do something first in your field, and then maybe.
What are you gonna say when Carson Hocevar wins this week and he's not even to 100 starts yet? Like, well, I mean, what?
I'm not gonna say anything because it's not gonna happen. So
no, he finished second in Nashville. It's his week.
No, not even close. All right, let's go to the winning car number. I'm going to go back to a bet that I actually like, and that is 12.5. I'm going to take the under on this one, plus 110. And honestly, too, this could go so many different ways, but we talked about the strength of some of these cars that are under this, right? I know Joey Logano, he's won 3rd place, 5th place. I want in on Joey Logano, but I also didn't want to get the number band for what it was worth. So for me, this under 12.5 at plus 110 over on Caesars seems like the best way to go because you've got some of the guys that should win this race, right? You've got the Kyle Larsons, who has been good. I know he's Captain Shook, but if he accidentally wins this race, I'm just saying, look, he's got a better shot at winning the freaking.
No, he doesn't. I would take Carson Hocevar over Kyle Larson, and I am taking him. I'm betting on Carson Hocevar in many ways and betting against Kyle Larson in ways. Give me Carson Hocevar over Kyle. Somebody put that fucking bet out there. I'll bet Carson Hocevar over Kyle Larson this week at Gateway.
All right, but also this is another Ryan Blaney bet too. This is if Ryan Blaney can ride the momentum that he's riding right now, and then this is also a Denny Hamlin bet, kind of doubling down on a Denny Hamlin bet that I'll give you in a second. But I feel like those are the two cars right there that I'm sort of leaning toward as being the race winners. Yeah, and Kyle Busch. I mean, who knows?
Those are the three. I think those are the three guys you're betting on with this bet.
Yeah, and for the most part, that is it, right? And so you can take any of those three. I know you can also sprinkle some stuff on those three, but
yes.
And Chastain, if Chastain decides to run well, but but no, I mean, again, for me, this is one of those ones where I took the number that I liked the best and kind of rolled with it at that point. So, give me the under 12.5 to win at +110 over on Caesars, and we'll see what happens after that.
Yeah, I was checking out these number bands. I'm glad you picked one. I just couldn't quite. I wish there was like an 11 to 22, because then you would get Joey, you get Denny, you get Briscoe, you get Blaney. Like, those are the guys I want. So if we could create that band, that'd be great. But yeah, I think the under 12.5 is tough, because really I think you're getting Blaney and Denny, Cindric and Busch secondarily. Like, Larson doesn't scare me this week. Elliott doesn't scare me this week. I don't think those guys are going to win. So I don't know. +110. You brought up Joey Logano. I hate not having a Joey Logano bet this week.
I want a top five, but it's so moot.
Yes, there's no good way to bet on him for it being Joey Logano, but he is so fucking good here. I promise you, he will be on the DFS show. One of us will absolutely have him, because you have to, I think. But he's so fucking hard to bet on this week, and maybe check the article, sportsgamblingpodcast.com, when a few more things are out and that gets published. Maybe there will be something over there that I find a way to get in on Joey, but I hate not having Joey on the card this week. I will say that.
So here's what I'll do. All right. Joey Logano top 5 +170. We'll make that a late add to the card. It's not going to make the graphic. It's not going to make the sheet. So we'll just say Joey Logano top 5 +170. That's not bad.
Yeah, that's the one I waffled with. Like, that's the bet I was focused in on. He's only like 8-1, 9-1 to win. Like, I don't know. For Joey Logano, I think it's tough. Although playoffs, maybe this is where he wins. But anyways, moving on. Late edition of the show. This is the last bet I put in as we were sitting here pre-race. I've been looking at the numbers, and I just couldn't not have it. I was going to not bet on a favorite this week. I was going to take longer shots, but I think that Ryan Blaney at +550, you can get that over on FanDuel. I think he's too good to pass up on. And I think it's not gotten a lot of respect how good he's run lately. 18th last week at Darlington, yes. And you made the case for him. What was the bet you had? Oh, yeah, you had him over Bell earlier. So you talked about it quite a bit, but first at Daytona, third at Richmond, comp track, 6th at Watkins Glen, 4th at Iowa, comp track, 7th at Indy, 8th at Dover. He's had a really good stretch of some really good races. Nashville, he won there, by the way. Again, not necessarily a comp track, but I think there are some stuff that can definitely roll over from that race. He's obviously been really good at Phoenix here in the past, short, flat track, all of this stuff. So Ryan Blaney, he's a guy that I think at +550, we talked about it being a Penske week, being a Ford week. He's the best Penske driver. I don't really think that that's much arguable anymore. In an overall sense, Joey's got a lot of wins. Joey's got 3 championships. He still ranks higher, but I think currently, right now, week to week, Ryan is obviously the better driver with a much better average finish. Joey's still just great in his own way, and he pops up and has the spots. But Blaney is amazing. Been really, really good at this track as well. 4th place here in 22, 6th place here in 23. Last year, after Christopher Bell had his issue, Blaney was going to win this race before he ran out of fuel and ends up with a 24th place finish, not indicative of how he ran. Third in the stages, and leading near the end of this one before that issue. And of course, Cindric goes on to win. But Penske's been great here. Blaney's been great here. I think that +550, this is one you just don't overthink. He's been running really well lately in playoff form. This feels like a Penske week. This feels like a Ford week. And looking at Ford too, I think it really is a Penske week. Like, RFK guys, I'm starting to get tired of getting burned, Rod, if we're going to be honest. RFK's, they're on the side burner over here for a little bit, letting them cool off. But I think it's Blaney's week. So +550 for Ryan Blaney. I think you got to take it. Chase Briscoe's 10-1, Rod. 10 to 1 on multiple books for Chase Briscoe. Has Chase Briscoe been up to anything lately? Have we seen Chase Briscoe do anything at all here lately, Rod?
I feel like he's been in the bingo hall, just playing bingo with all of the retired folks right now. With Martin Truex. That's where he's at.
He's been the best driver in the Cup Series here lately. It's insane. He should not be 10-1. We got him last week as a gift at 13-1. He goes and fucking dominates. He's over 300 laps at the track too tough to tame. He fucking tamed that bitch 2 years in a row for two different teams. Like 309 laps, and he's still 10-1. I do not fucking understand this. It makes no sense. 13th at Richmond a couple weeks ago. You'd like to see a little bit of a better run there, but second at Iowa, you had one of the best cars there, led 81 laps. This is a comp track to Iowa. Same tires they ran there. Really, I think he should have got Byron there late. Didn't quite get to him, but second at Dover, second at Sonoma. He won at Pocono, fourth at Kansas, third at Charlotte. Like, he is just having a hell of a good season. And he's a short flat track specialist. And he's in the 19 car, which is a short flat track car. Christopher Bell, really fucking good here last year. Oh, guess what? Same team. He is. How do you not give me one good reason not to bet on Chase Briscoe 10-1? Because you can't do it. Insane to me that you're still getting him at this number. So take it early. He's going to fucking go sit on the pole. He's going to be on the front row. Oh, we were this fucking close. That lap he laid down in qualifying. I started counting the money from that plus 450 we gave out on the show last week. And then Denny just had to one-up him and steal it from us. But he's going to start up front. He's going to have track position. He's going to be good. Oh, and they have nothing to lose. He is running. He's playing with house money the next 2 weeks. They can go do whatever the fuck they want to. He's going to be dangerous. He should not be 10-1. Bet on him. Yes, I had all that wonderful confidence in Chase Briscoe. And I'm also going to bet on Kyle Busch at 25-1, Rod. He's been really good at this track. And maybe this is his week. Rowdy himself is going to be in attendance. So this one's for you, buddy. Give me Kyle Busch at 25-1.
Well, I will say that his wife would love a win because it would boost his confidence along with some of the other things that he's been up to lately. So absolutely love that one. And I will say that you kind of hawed about my winning car number, and yet you gave out two cars that are underneath the 12.5 number. So I think you like that bet more than you think you like that bet. And then I'm going to follow up with one last one, and that's Denny Hamlin, 7.5-1. He shouldn't be 7.5-1 anywhere, to be honest with you. And I know Denny Hamlin's not had the best of luck on this particular, just lately, I guess. He's had some pretty bad luck. But on this track, I mean, come on. Now, he's finished in the last few races second, right? Denny Hamlin, second place finish in 2024, second place finish in 2023. I mean, at what point is he going to knock the door down, right? And then he finished 34th in 2022, but obviously something wrong in that particular day cost Denny his day. But I mean, look, Denny Hamlin, he's going to be good on this track. And at some point, you knock on the door too many times, it's going to bust wide open, right? And for Denny Hamlin, I feel like that now's the time because his pit crew keeps screwing him over, really just putting him back. The fact that he finished 7th last week with all the pit trouble that he had, boy, I got to tell you, that's just testament to how much he actually was able to drive that car, because he was getting screwed left and right on pit road. He won at Dover, obviously, earlier. Second at Pocono. Won at Michigan. Some good finishes there. Third at Nashville. You want to talk about comp tracks like that. Darlington, he finished first. Martinsville, he finished first. Bristol, he finished second. Phoenix, he finished second. So, you know, I don't have to sit here and preach to you about how Denny Hamlin can win a race, because he can win a race, right? That's obvious and that's evident. So long as his pit crew doesn't screw him, and his teammates don't screw him in that one as well. So, yeah, I mean, 750 for Denny Hamlin should not be there, and I think that's the price you got to jump on.
Yeah, hard to argue with this as well. He's obviously been, I think I'll move him into second place now, the second best driver recently to Chase Briscoe, who's clearly the hottest driver in NASCAR. But, yeah, I think, and he's run really well at this track, and they should be a car that's in contention for this, and you look at him or a guy like Christopher Bell, while Bell should maybe be the better guy here, nothing lately about Bell makes you believe. And Denny's got the good runs. You know, that one pit stop really fucked him last week, but he still managed a good finish and a good run out of the deal. So I expect him to be in the mix to win, unlike Kyle Larson. That's why I liked him in the head-to-head earlier, and I'll back you on this one as well.
Indeed. Kylie adding Bubba as plus 1,000 for the top Toyota. I kind of like that one too. So only because we talked about Bubba earlier, and if he's going to have a good return as we think he is, and if Hamlin doesn't win, Bubba could finish in the top 3 and end up finishing one of the better Toyotas on the day. So I do like that angle as well.
JDK mixing in some football, by the way. You can parlay stuff, of course, racing and football now that NFL's back. He's probably in Blaney with the longest reception for Devonta Smith on Thursday night at over 21.5, which I think is a great bet. And that makes the number move up to plus 1020. Got that over on Bet365. So, I like that.
I hold on. I want to hit one really quick because I want to caution Corey. Corey, I know he's been a beast on this track, Bell, but he's not been a beast lately.
He's not. Yeah, this is definitely a track he could snap out of his funk. I sort of hope that Bell has a bad run this week, honestly, because I want the number for New Hampshire to dip a little bit in a couple of weeks. Because no matter what happens the next 2 weeks, I will be on Christopher Bell at New Hampshire. I'm still scared of Bell right now, but Briscoe is the hottest driver. I agree. I think Hamlin's going to be great. I mean, Bubba at 10-1. It's not a bad bet for sure. I think he'll be in the mix. Briscoe I gave out at 4-1, or you're seeing at plus 375. That'd be the one I would pick if I was just picking one. But I don't mind grabbing some Briscoe and some Briscoe and some Bubba as well.
Indeed. All right, get out your pen. Is that pumpkin beer getting to you a little bit there?
I need some more. As the problem.
It's actually me too. All right, get out your pen and paper. It's time to go over our bets for this Enjoy Illinois 300, and of course, if you're on the used tubes, then go ahead and screenshot this and take it to the bank. I started you out with Ryan Blaney over Christopher Bell at minus 125. And then I gave you AJ Allmendinger to win Group F over on Caesars at plus 130 over the likes of Zane Smith, SVG, and Noah Gragson. I added Bubba Wallace under 16.5 at minus 115. Keep in mind, top 10 number is at even money over on ESPN. So this is pretty much a better bet, because you're getting a hell of a lot more spots. I know you're paying the juice for it, but you only pay the juice if you lose. I don't think you're going to do it in this course. Kyle Busch, top 10, plus 125. Winning car number under 12.5 at plus 110. Dennis Hamlin at plus 750 to win this race. Cody gave you Hamlin over Larson. I don't want to screw you up. Gave you Denny Hamlin over Kyle Larson, minus 135. He also gave you Kyle Busch over Chase Elliott at plus 115. Eric Jones under or better than 17.5 at minus 115. His teammate John Hunter Nemechek at under 21.5 or better than 21.5 at minus 115. Cindric top 10 at minus 125. Jones top 10 at 3-1. AJ Allmendinger top 10 at 6-1. Cody also gave you over 3.5 Fords in the top 10 at plus 120. Under 3.5 Chevys in the top 10 at plus 125. He gave you Chase Briscoe as the top Toyota at 4-1. Jones under 17.5 at minus 115. There's this car lift. Cody, what's the car lift? I'm not even going to acknowledge it with a, what do you get?
Well, Rod, I'd like to wish everybody a happy Carson Hocevar week. We're taking Carson Hocevar top 10 at plus 160, top 5 at 5-1, top Chevrolet at 10-1. And when he wins this race and you cash all of those bets, you're also going to have him 35-1 outright. Happy motherfucking Carson Hocevar week.
And then he gave you Briscoe at 10-1 and Busch at 25-1 to win this Enjoy Illinois 300 from the World Wide Technology Raceway, Gateway in Madison, Illinois.
Also, JDK, Brad had his baby last week. Don't fall for it. He sucked at Darlington. They just actually posted a picture this week, but baby was already had before the race. It sucks. So baby bumps out the window.
No baby bump for him at all this week.
Yeah.
So, Cody, Gateway, a 1.25 but packed with action. A lot of fun. Obviously a great day. And
imagine the party when Carson Hocevar wins this race. It's gonna be electric. I can't wait. I'm so excited.
I almost feel like 670 will be my last episode if he ends up winning this race, because I will just walk.
Well, guys, join me and my new co-host next week on.
JDK's been looking to host this show for a very long time, so I think he would definitely be the next play, because you guys could go on your whole love fest on him, and I wouldn't.
He'd be perfect to bring on after a host of our win too. So JDK, get ready. We might have a special recap edition next week.
For those of you who have not crashed into the car in front of you because of this nonsense that's going on, we thank you for sticking with us over the course of the day. But yeah, Big week though, Cody. Still got a Xfinity Series to talk about, some DFS to talk about, and have some fun at Gateway.
Yeah, standalone Xfinity this week in Gateway there as well. So we'll have a full episode on that, as well as a full episode of DFS. Final regular season race, by the way, for the Xfinity Series. So we'll break that down and then talk some DFS stuff. So very excited. In the meantime, Rod, follow me over on the X at Husker_Zeeb. You can find all my work there. I do a ton of NFL stuff, college football stuff, all the above, plenty more. Make sure you check all that out. Follow the show as well at NASCAR Gambling. Like, subscribe, thumbs up, comment, Spotify comments. We can see those now, so keep sending those our way. YouTube comments are always great. All the fun stuff. We love it. See you guys tomorrow.
Indeed. Follow me on Twitter at RJ Villagomez. Link in the about everything I got going on, whether it's here. Make sure you check out the Back Road with Seth and Elliot this Thursday. Actually, me and Elliot this Thursday as we break down Gateway for you. I promise I will not say the 77's name on that show either, and we'll have some fun. Of course, all the other stuff that I got going on, make sure you check it out. Link in the bio. We'll see you tomorrow. Maybe with Xfinity, maybe with DFS. We'll see what the books decide to give us as we break it down. But we'll be back tomorrow for sure with a show. So until then, let's go racing and let it ride.